was actually figuring out who I really was, you know. So it took me 4 years to 4 years of introspection. Even there was a point where I was washing dishes, and all of a sudden my old self, my younger self, popped in my head, and for that split, whatever second, whatever, I forgot I was doing dishes, and I seen him. I was right there by him when he was crying, and I told him, "Why are you crying?" And he's like, "You know, I hate my dad and this and that." And he's crying. I'm like, "Don't worry, you're going through this for a reason. You know, what you're going through is gonna make you tougher, so you can handle it out there." You know what I mean? And at that moment, I just bawled like boogers, like snot, like just. I never cried like that in my life, man. It's just coming out. I'm like, where the hell is this coming from? It's shedding your old self, you know, like telling my younger self, it's okay. I forgive everything. Don't worry about that stuff. You know what I mean? I forgive everything that's going on.
Hi there. Welcome back, or welcome to Recovering Out Loud podcast, the show where we get real about mental health and addiction. I'm so glad you're here. If you or someone you love is struggling with drugs or alcohol, please reach out for help. Send me a message on all social media platforms at Recovering Out Loud Pod, or by email at recoveringoutloudpod@gmail.com. You are no longer alone. What do your prayers look like, or your meditation? What does that look like?
Well, I don't meditate as much as I used to, but when I sit down, I usually have that bowl, the singing bowl, those gongs kind of things.
Okay, yeah.
I'll cleanse the area, just get good vibes in there, and I'll sit down, I'll close my eyes, and I start practicing on my breathing, you know, just focusing more on my breathing, and just allow whatever to come in, come out, just go by, you know. And there are times that I see things, you know, things pop up here and there, you know what I mean? And it's just...
What do you see?
Sometimes I see places, like I used to see like little places in the mountain. It's weird, man. Like
Not memories, but like new places?
Yeah, I never been there in my life.
Interesting.
You know, like I'll see a little place in a mountain, or I see faces appear, and it's not like human faces. It's really kind of disturbing, right? But I see faces coming. Once in a while I have conversations, then realize when I'm having conversations, it'll just poof, gone. You know, but I don't know what those are, but I'm fairly new to meditation. It's only been a couple of years on and off. The first year was strong when I had that experience, right? But now it's more like subtle. I get more tinglies, like ringing in the ears here and there. I get a lot of those lately. So,
do you find that it takes you long to get to that state in terms of like when you sit down time, or does it happen right away?
It takes some time.
Yeah.
Like when I was more consistent with it, it was quicker. But now that I've been away from it from some time and come back, I find like I kind of nod off a little. And I have to realize I'm sleeping.
Really?
You know? Like I start nodding off and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, meditation is one of those things for me that, you know, for a long time I was trying to do it right. And I've come to the realization that there is no way to do it right. It's just you either do it or you don't do it.
Yes.
And that helped me a lot because, for a lot of people, it's really tough to meditate, right? It's really tough to sit down, especially if you have ADHD we all have thoughts, millions of thoughts, right? But when someone told me to just doing it, and it does get better, it does get easier with practice, right? The more you do it, the more you can kind of calm down. And I was always taught that when those thoughts come up, for me, I'm a visual person. I just picture them as like like clouds disappearing in the air. Oh, like nice. There's the thought just kind of comes, and then it's just like, whoop, right? Yeah. Or it's like someone else told me it's like erasing words off a screen, like to try and picture your thoughts going like that, right? So that helped me.
Yeah, just a lot of people, you know, a lot of times meditation, people fear it too. Is they're scared of their own self. They're scared to be by themselves, what their mind says to them or does to them, you know? Being alone with your mind can be scary.
Yeah.
You know, we know about other people more than we do about ourselves. You know what I mean? You can know your best friend in and out, but to know yourself that's a gray zone for a lot of people. So to tell them sit down, meditate, it's like it gets scary.
Yeah.
You know, it's like your mind is very strong. It has its own personality at times, you know. So I get that.
Yeah. And you have no control over your thoughts, right? I think the lack of control scares a lot of people, right? Because we like to, I mean, at least for myself, I like to be in control of things a lot, you know? I like to feel like I'm in control. I like to feel like I know what's going to happen next, right? I don't like uncertainty. I don't like, there's a lot of fear in that.
But that's how you release it,
yeah.
right? When you release the control, that's when the magic happens, you know? That's all it is humans try to control things, you know? It's for your comfort, for your safety, you know? You try to control it, but if you let it go, and I seen some crazy stuff in my time, you know what I mean? There's a time I was meditating, and prior to that, probably a week or a couple of days, I was doing some meditation about seeing my guides. I really want to get in contact with them, you know, find out what their name is and stuff like that. So I was really meditating hard on that. And one time I closed my eyes and I seen, I don't know what it was. It was just like it looked like a cave. It was really dark and it's like walls like a cave. But then there's this figure with a black hood. Not a Grim Reaper. It's like a hood over his face. Couldn't see his face. It's just standing there. And I was like, whoa. When you realize something, you shake like this, usually things disappear. Mm-hmm. But that figure was still there. And I was like, whoa, like, who are you? You know, then I freaked out. I got up, go, no, I'm done. A couple of days later, driving by, it was on Bloor in Jarvis. There's a church there. There's the same hooded person standing outside the church, like a statue. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? That's exactly the statue. That's the figure I seen. I wonder what that symbolizes. One day maybe I'll have the courage to go and knock on the church and what does that guy symbolize, you know? Because that was exactly that person I saw in my meditation. It's bizarre.
Do you think that the universe, God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, is kind of maybe directing you to go in there for some reason? Like, what do you think that means?
I honestly, usually at the moment, I didn't think of much, but usually it takes time for me to look back. And I think those are my guides, you know, but I kind of spooked them away. Like, I'm not ready for you guys yet, you know, like kind of feeling. So I haven't seen them ever since, but I think those are my guides. And sometimes they come in, obviously they're not human, right? So they come as is, and we just freak out, right? But
yeah, to me, like a guide, a spiritual guide, to me, it comes in a number of forms. It comes through people, it comes through objects, things, maybe thoughts in my head, right? Voices sometimes, not voices like, no, I mean, yeah, like we all have conversations in our head, right? It's completely normal. They could come as news articles, as headlines on my phone, right? Like things that just kind of pop up, and it's like, I have two choices. I can pick it up, or I can be like, it's fucking crazy, right? I don't, whatever, right? Or I can dismiss it. And to your point, the more mindful I am, the more I can see those signs, those guides, and that's why meditation is so good for me, right?
Yes, because you nailed it right there. It's your awareness and having an open mind, right? It was a lot of times we're so closed off, like, that doesn't exist. You shut it off, or ghosts don't exist, and you shut it off. Talking about, I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah, a lot of goosebumps.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the mind that's closed.
Yeah, this sort of contempt prior to investigation, right? Where it's like someone who brings up an idea, and you're no, like just completely, your mind just shut. That's not real. That's not possible. That's not. And to me, this might sound a lot of woo, like this whole episode might sound very woo woo to a lot of people. And for a long time, I thought this was bullshit. This spiritual life, but it's like. I don't know. I've just come to a place now where it's so much more fun and so much more, I don't know, the opportunities are endless when I choose to believe in this stuff than when I don't, right? And it's so much more freeing to believe that anything is possible, because then I don't have any limitations, right? And I believe that. Like I truly believe that I can do anything in this world if I'm willing to pay the consequences, right? There's certain things like maybe playing the NBA one day that physically I can't do, but there's not a lot of things that I can't do in this world if I put in the time, I put in the work, I put in the research to get it done, right? Like, there's a lot of examples of that in the world.
Your power is your focus. There's a lot of energy and focus. If you could focus your mind razor sharp into what you need to do, where you want to be, instead of, we're taught like in school, like when you grow up, what you want to do, what do you think? Those two questions right there, I feel like there is wrong. It should be who you want to be. We're human beings, not human doers, right? We're beings. What do you want to be? And instead of thinking, what do you think? It's what do you feel?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We have to learn to feel things. Like when something's right, you feel it's right. When something's wrong, don't you get that knot in your gut?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
those are feelings. It's not thinking. Thinking is for school, it's for logic. Right? But if you want to tap into the whole other side, everything is feelings, man.
Yeah. Intuition.
Intuition, everything. It's all the inside. Like I explained to you earlier, 4 years ago, I would not be sitting here talking about this
Yeah,
stuff.
let's get into that. Yeah.
It's like woo stuff like you said, right? I was kind of embarrassed. I tried my open up a YouTube channel, but I was kind of embarrassed who's my friends will see me and everyone's gonna think I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Because I'm a very straight person. Like I don't say stuff that it's not there or whatever it is.
You don't sugarcoat.
Yeah, I don't sugarcoat stuff. So, but this situation, it just threw me off, you know?
Yeah. So what happened? Yeah.
Well, I was really debating on my life. Like I lost my identity. You know what I mean? It's like I had my street friends. I had my friends that work legit, and I had my family. You know, my family as in my family, my parents, and all that stuff. And I had 3 different identities. Right? 3 different identities, and they never intertwined.
Yeah.
You know, even though I do hang with my street friends and my regular friends sometimes together, but it was crazy juggling. I don't know how I did it. You know what I mean? But at that time, it's like I lost my identity. It's like I'm one person, then I'm 2 person together, and then my family.
You're wearing masks everywhere you go.
A lot of masks. And in the end, it's like, who the fuck am I? You know what I mean? I'm talking to these people, then I'm talking to these people, and then my family. And I'm like, I don't want to live like this. And the stuff I was doing for money, it's like, yeah, you know, I was selling a lot of drugs. I was doing what I got to do. But at the same time, it's not what I wanted to do. And I remember telling my wife that, like, I can't do this forever. I don't want to do this no more. But how do I get out of this? This is all I know. My friends think I'm working. My street friends think I'm working. And I tell them that it's just so whatever they're involved, it doesn't involve me. There was a time where there was wars. I avoided that because I'm saying I'm working. I worked in the movies, and I did work in the movies for 1 month because my friend offered me a job in the movies, and I'm like, I'll take it. Let's see what it's about. So I did work there for a month. I did record it, and after that, I used it and say I'm in the union now. You know, I work this and that. So when these guys from the streets call me out, I'm like, I'm working tomorrow. I can't go out. So give me an excuse to stay away from them. I hang with my friends that have jobs, but at the same time, they don't really understand as well. Like it's weird. Like they're good people, but they don't understand real life. Like what I consider real life. So it's like they're good people. I grew up with them, but they can never fully understand. Street life, I'm very close to them. I grew up with people, hustlers, drug dealers, murderers. But those are, I feel most comfortable with those people.
Yeah, you have bonds, right?
Yeah,
Strong
like,
bonds.
I understand them. Like I can understand them, you know? And I feel the closest to them. So weird as it sounds. You know, if I was in a room and my life depended on it, of course I'm going to the street people. You know what I mean? Because I know that they'll have my back.
To have your back, yeah.
Or at least I think. You know what I mean? And then my family side, I'm the good son. You know, I put my mom through a lot of grief when I was growing up. You know, cops come, a lot of crap. You know what I mean? So yeah, but like I lost my identity. I didn't want to do my job no more. So it was weird how I start coming, these time frames right now when I'm explaining it, I'm trying to piece it together because things were happening so fast at that time. I start finding YouTube. I don't know where it came up, but I start learning to meditate. I'll put on music and just meditate, and it felt really good. I'm like, holy shit, man. I started doing that. I started doing affirmations, listening to at night, put it on the earbuds and just sleep with it. And then one day I was just driving, and the radio came on, and it said something about angels. I turned it up, and I don't know why they're talking about something about angels. I'm like, because I'm not I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in none of that stuff. Like I said before, my upbringing, I believe my motto was, it's better to rule in hell than to serve in heaven. You know, but you do what you got to do in life. You know what I mean? It was almost like you rather kill the innocent than let the guilty free, even, you know? But Anyways, I'm getting off track here.
No, it's good. I mean, I'm interested to hear more about how you got into the street life and what that did for you for a long time. Like, obviously, it did a lot for you. You mentioned connections too, right? How did you get into that?
Well, growing up, I got my ass whooped at an early age, like a really early age, and it worsened off. And I failed in grade 1. I don't know how kids fail in grade 1, but the teacher failed me. Right? I remember she grabbed me by the arm. I didn't even know. I didn't know how to speak English at that time, but I still remember her name till now. I'm 46 years old. I remember my grade 1 teacher, Ms. Wu. You know what I mean? I remember her. She's probably long gone now, but she played a role in my life as well, right? But she grabbed my arm. I pushed her. She smacked the shit out of me, and she told me, "You're gonna fail." I couldn't understand exactly what she meant, but I knew something wasn't right. But anyways, went home. They called my dad. My dad told me to explain to him. So I thought, you know what, the teacher hit me. I'm gonna explain to my dad. He's gonna have my back. He beat the shit out of me. You know, because in that generation, it's like teachers and people authority are always right. Your kids are never right. So anyways, he beat the shit out of me, and for the longest time, he'll call me stupid. That's my nickname in the household, right? So every time my dad's friends will come over, oh, this is my brother, this is my son, this is my other son, this is my daughter, this is my son, stupid. And it was like, you could see in my dad's friends' face, they were like, you know, they're awkward, right? But at the same time, I want to get up and just yell at them and go, fuck you, you know? But we used to get beat so much. Like, cops will come to our house and make us go in the garden and lift up our shirts because our neighbors are calling the cops. We're screaming, lift up the shirts. And cops are asking me, you know, looking around, goes, does your dad hit you? And I was so close to saying yes, taking him to jail. But then I looked at the cop, I go, no, he never hits me. You know what I mean? We go back to beating, and our beatings were not like normal beatings, man. Like, there's times I get tied up by these black elastic bands he has, the thick ones. He'll tie my legs like this, my arms and legs, and he'll just whip me with those sticks. You know what I mean? And just when I'm done, he'll throw me into the corner, shut the lights off. And if I scream, I get my ass beat even more. He'll come down and give me more beatings. You know what I mean? Or psychological beatings will be like, if I caused trouble or acted up that day, it will say it was a Sunday. He goes, okay, next Saturday, you're going to get it. So he gives it a whole week to think about it. And when that Saturday comes, I'm like, oh, morning comes, afternoon comes, he doesn't do nothing. I go, he forgot, thank God. That evening comes, let's go downstairs now. I'm like, oh. Happened to a point where, you know, when you get beat so much, you just cry to give him the satisfaction. When he's done, it was like, whatever. You know, it doesn't hurt no more, right? Or if I was bleeding a little, I start ripping, you know, like I start opening up that cut more. And I'll make sure the blood goes on the fucking stairs, drip down, just so my mom could bitch at him. I always blame my mom too at that time. It's like, why'd you tell dad I was acting up? Or why don't you do something when he beats me? Why don't you stop it? So I start building resentment on her there until that one day I see her stand up for me because I choked a lot when I was a kid with food. So I used to run and get those cups. Back then, you don't have big cups. You had those little cups like this. So I always filled it up and drink it. And I was choking hard. I say, my dad, when I get up, my mom, you know, and my dad goes, no, you're not getting up with no more water. And I start choking. I'm like, you know, my mom gets up, goes, go get water. He gets up and decks her right in the face. And that's the first time I seen that. I was like, my mom doesn't have my back. But I was so angry at that time. Honestly, if I was a little older, I'd probably take him out. That's how angry I was, you know. But it wasn't until later on, they just beat me so bad. I went down to the kitchen. After they beat me, they went to the living room. And, you know, there's a little ledge that separates the living room and the kitchen. I went in there, I got the biggest knife I got. I remember I was like 7 years old or 8 years old max. I went in there, I stuck it right here, right between the chest where it's like the dent. I put the tip right there, and I was like, I looked back, I looked at them, and I had the image where, like, once I plunge it in, I'm gonna pull it out, and I'm gonna spread the blood all over the walls, and then my mom's gonna freak, and they're all gonna have a heart attack. I imagined that, and I was crying at the same time, but I put it in, and I could feel the tip, but it wasn't that time, man. You know what I mean? I was so angry, like I just couldn't do it. Plus, I was scared.
That was at 7 years old.
7, 8 tops.
Yeah, damn.
Tops. But I put it back, and I just like, you know what? For the next several times, I'm just gonna endure it, right? But all these beatings, I understand what it was now. Where I was going and where my head was heading, I need to be fucking tough. There's no room for being a pussy out there. You know what I mean? I'm getting goosebumps, a little watery, but you know what I mean? It's like, I need to be that kind of man. You know what I mean? It's like my mind is pretty conditioned now. right? So things I could endure by myself, you know. But yeah, but it wasn't too long. I got into a lot of fights growing up, really big fights, like a lot of fights, you know. But it wasn't until grade 9 or 10. Yeah, I had problems with these Vietnamese guys at high school. That's when it got real serious. There's a whole bunch of them, you know. Back in the days, Vietnamese people always hang big groups, you know. I'm minding my own business. They come up, bump into me, this little guy. You know, really like 2 foot nothing guy. I don't know. He was a short guy. Bumped into me and looked at him. He's like, what's up? You know, and he let everything go. Next thing you know is they all come after us like it was a break time. They all come like, you know, what's going on? We're Vietnamese. Why you causing trouble, my friend? I'm like, how am I trouble? He bumped into me. You know, me goes, oh, we're all Vietnamese, squash it. Okay, squash it. And at this time, I had a chip on my shoulder as well. You know, it's just like, ain't nobody gonna pick on me and get away with it. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't do what my dad did to me all these years. Three days passed, I thought it was all squashed. I do carry a knife on me. You know what I mean? All times. You know what I mean? I had a chip on I know I'm gonna, if I have to take someone, I'm gonna take someone. You know, I'm not gonna think twice. But 3 days later, I thought everything was squashed. I walked by with my friend. I hear bells ringing. I'm like, holy shit, why is there bells ringing? Like, it was really loud. When I realized it's not bells, I'm getting pounded by, you know, those pool cues you could take apart.
Yeah.
They were smashing my head, 6, 7 of them, beating me. And that's where I was hearing the ringing from. But I was just walking, I didn't feel no pain, no nothing. I just hear ringing. I'm like, holy shit, church bells are going off. And when I turn around, I'm like, I still have scars if you see it lightly.
Yeah.
And that was about 14, 15. I seen bash the shit out of me. Then I dropped my bag, I started running, and then I heard a voice in my head. Why you running for, pussy? Stop running and fucking fight them. Stop being a pussy and running like this. I stopped. I turned around. I couldn't even fight them. There's too much of them, but I let them beat the shit out of me. So they really beat me, but they couldn't take me to the floor. In my life, I probably fell to the floor once. That was once in my life. I'm a very hard-headed guy. They all took off. When they took off, I heard that voice again. Go get them. Go get them. Everything was, my face felt squished in. I could hear people's voices like, whoa, what the, all these voices. It was weird, like sounding, you know, like, hey, what's up? It's like that, like a whole bunch of different voices. Then the curious voice came on, goes, go get them. I was like, oh shit, I remember my knife. I pulled it out, ran after the guy. That's right at Bathurst and Harvard. One guy stayed back. He like this. I held the knife underneath here so he couldn't see it. So I ran up to him and I said, today's his day. He's gone. He's going to be the first guy I'm taking out. Ran up to him. He swung. I blocked. And I got him right here first, right in the neck area. He bent over and I just went this on his back. He moved over to his ribs. I fed him into his ribs. He fell down. I started stabbing him until I felt something in my hand. I was like, oh, fuck, the blade broke. And I was like, it was cutting my own hand. And when I stopped, I remember, only thing I remember is this lady, this white lady's face in the car. Her jaws are open. She's like looking at me like, what the heck? That's when I realized, like, it's time to get the hell out of here. Yeah, but cops came, took me away. That's my first incident. Went to jail. You know, so.
How old are you?
14, 15.
Wow.
14, 15 or something like that. So that's my son's age right now, and I haven't told him anything about my past life, right? But yeah, as I talk about this, my ego, I could feel my ego getting hyped up about it. You know, like the excitement, it's crazy. Like a lot of times I try to shut it down, but you can never fully get rid of it. It's always there. You got to coexist with it, but just know it's there as long as you're aware of it. You know. But yeah.
What? I have to ask this, but the other kid, what happened to him?
He lived.
Yeah. Okay.
He lived. They all carried him to the hospital. You know, he lived, and he said he heard a lot, and he kept changing his stories, right? So that's the reason I beat that charge. His story changed. Later on, when I went to jail again, I met his friend in there, one of his buddies there that day. And he's saying that he didn't want a rat. His mom made him rat. You know what I mean? But whatever, it was done. Well, you know what I mean? I was, at that time, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I did what I did, because it's going to teach him a lesson for the rest of his life. When he lifts up that shirt to take a shower, he's going to remember my face. You know what I mean? That's what you get. You know, sometimes you think you might have a big group, you might feel brave, but you never underestimate somebody's violence level.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so scary nowadays. Like, you don't know. Like, I bet you those guys never thought that was going to happen, right? How do you look back on that now? Like, how do you feel about that now?
I look at that, and it's very senseless. It could have been avoided, right? It could have been avoided so easily. That's the experience and advice I'm teaching my kids. Like, one thing can happen and change your life in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of that situation and just walk. You don't lose nothing by walking away. You know what I mean? And I know my son's into basketball right now. So I told my experience where instead of stabbing, I said, I punched that guy so bad he went to the hospital. And because of that, I got expelled. I lost everything. You know, I did play basketball at that time too. And after that, sports was done for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's almost like you hit a road and you either choose the street life or you choose the academic, sports life, right? So I guess, you ended up choosing the street life for a while. And do you want to talk more about like what happened after that?
Yeah, it's like after that, I got bail. My parents bailed me out. I was just wandering around. It was a depressing time, you know what I mean? But it wasn't too long after that. I was like, I gotta make money, So I was like, how can I make money? This is the first time being exposed to, like, I'm looking around. I grew up in the hood, So people always selling crack around. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, let's start. I don't have money to start. So I was like, you know what, let's do this. I got chestnuts. I'll break up the chestnuts into like big 20 pieces, you know what I mean, wrapping in a bag. And I start going through those, whatever you call them, junkies. And I'm like, what do you want? And he wants this. I'll give it to him. The minute he gives me the money, I start walking and running. He looks at it. He goes, hey, I got my freaking money. And that was the first taste of money, I'm like, all right, start getting into robberies. Start robbing them. Then after that, start robbing people. You know what I mean? And it escalated each time. It started getting more violent. And, a lot of times my friends would be like, yo, just chill, But like, I have this, what do you call that in Vietnamese? In translated, it would be like crazy blood. It's like when I fight people as well, I'll stomp people. And when they start twitching and foaming, all these shit coming out of their mouth, my friends have to pull me away. Because when I see blood and stuff, I go, it gets me off, I want to see more. Like, jeez. And they go, you're going to kill that guy. I go, what do you think I'm trying to do? You don't jump on someone's head 2 foot if you're not trying to kill them. I don't hit for fun, you know what I mean? Because I believe if nobody's going to show you mercy. If vice versa, if I was on the ground, they're going to fucking give it to me. Yeah. So why give mercy in the beginning, If you're going to do it, do it. If you're not going to do it, don't do it at all, right?
I mean, that's all you knew growing up, right?
That's it, because like I said, my dad beat the shit out of me, man. And the first time I actually got my balls up was this black guy. Like, he picked on me a lot. The one day I just pushed him. Right, just going back again. I pushed him on the floor, and I thought he was gonna get up and whoop my ass. But he goes, I'm gonna call my older brother after you. Then I realized, holy shit, this guy looks scary enough to me, but looks are nothing. But yeah, but anyways, going back, a robbery start escalating. Then I got caught with 2 guns after that again. You know what I mean? It wasn't real guns, it was BB guns. Me and my buddy got 2 BB guns and we started robbing people. And the cops came and arrested us for that. We got caught again. So the second time I went in was after I beat that charge. Before I beat that charge, the stabbing charge, my mom took me to this place. It's like inside someone's house. It's like a psychic. I don't believe in none of that shit before. I didn't understand a word what that lady was saying. But when she started, her voice changed. And I almost laughed. I was holding it in so bad, I was like, but her voice is really high pitched, it changed. But my mom explained to me, she goes, you're going to beat this charge. But in the summer, she sees something, either I'm going to go in jail for a long time, or she sees a lot of blood in me, like leaking out, like I'm going to be bleeding a lot. Well, whatever. Come to that time I beat that charge. A couple months later in that summer, I got arrested with those guns for armed robbery. I was like, holy shit, man. You know what I mean? Coincidence or not, right? It played out exactly like that. But the second time I went in, it was like camp to me. You know what I mean? You're young still, you're hot-blooded. You meet connections in there, you know what I mean? Yeah, we had a few racial wars in there where it's like Asians against the blacks and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we stand our ground, we fight, you know, and it was an experience, that's for sure, man.
Yeah. And then so you get out of there, and then I guess you start to participate in gangs and stuff now? Like what does that look like?
There's a lot of people, like, I never got into gangs. Like, I never got into gangs, but I'm always associated with people like do business, like the killers or the hustlers, and it's like a community.
Yeah.
Everybody knew everybody, but eventually people gonna beef here and there. But like, I never into like joining that's kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? I always like making my money, but be more quietly, right? I ever since a kid, I never liked to be loud. I just make my money and just
the attention.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah.
And then so I guess years go on like this. How does one make the transition from that life into where you are now and going back to school and, you know, becoming a social worker and practicing Reiki even? Like, was there a moment where everything kind of changed, or how did that play out?
Like I said, I lived a life. I even went to Vancouver, grew weed at that time when it was popular. I was around, everything. We did a lot of fucked up shit up there too, man. It got really bad. You know what I mean? Where the point where it's like, I even got shot at up there in the car. You know what I mean? It got really violent. So, but up to this point, it was during COVID, a year after COVID. That's when I started asking questions about my life, really debating about it, right? And the angel thing came on the radio. And I asked, like, you know, there's no angels. You know, if there's angels, prove it. Change the radio station. It didn't change. And I was like, see? All this bullshit. It was like 2 days later, had a dream. And I remember this dream, I went to sleep, I put the headphones on, listening to my affirmations like I usually do. And next thing I see Michael Jordan come in my room. I'm like, Michael Jordan? It's like, he comes sit beside my bed in my room, he's talking to me about life. I'm like, I used to look up to you, man, growing up. You know, everything was about basketball when I was younger. You know what I mean? That was my escape, you know? So I was like, oh, shit, you're here. But then when I realized, like, what are you doing in my room? When I realized I'm dreaming, you know, it's like that state where you're like, I'm in my own dream and like, what are you doing in my dream?
The lucid kind of dreaming, yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I asked him, like, what are you doing in my dream? He smiled and his face changed. And it was another face. And it was getting a lot of goosebumps, man. But it was like an orange glow, like it was a nice. It wasn't so bright where you can't see, but it's like an aura, you know what I mean? And I seen his face. It was a male face, and he hugged me and he goes, you know what? Just repeat these words after me. Repeat my words. I'll take care of you. You know, I'll help you out. And I go, okay. And he hugged me, and that hug was, swear to God, I never felt. Even my own mom's hug don't feel that nice. You know what I mean? It was warm. It was really, really warm. Like, it's almost like you're going to be okay hug, you know? It's like that kind of warm hug, you know? But I woke up, my eyes were open wide. I got up, I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that? You know, and the words that I was repeating from him was the affirmation that I was listening to. It just lined up like that. And I'm like, I took it off. I'm like, holy shit, what the hell happened? You know, this is not a dream. This was something else. I went outside to meditate on the sofa. My wife was sleeping. I was like, fuck, this is like, look at that time, it's like 3:30, 3:40. I went outside to meditate, closed my eyes, and I know it was that angel. I don't know if it's an angel, but I'm assuming it's an angel because that's what I asked for, right? But I felt him press it down my head, right in the top of here. Like it was just right down, like a press down, you know? Then after that, I sit there, I still trip me out to this day. But 2 days later, that's when I lost my mind. I was going through the spiral and what the hell's going on? I'm trying to figure it out. 2 days later, I meditated again. I go, show me a sign. Give me proof that I'm not going crazy and this is actually happening. It was during April, about 4 years ago. This April was different kind of April. Everything was dry, gray, no grass, no leaves, no nothing. It was just, it looks like a gray, wet day, April. I go, show me butterflies tomorrow. You know, I want to see butterflies because I know there's no insects or nothing out there. I was about to say, show me like a blue, purple butterfly, but what's the odds of seeing that? So I'm like, just show me a butterfly. Next day, I've been driving around looking for it all day, looking for it. You know, like any kind of butterfly, just to let me know I'm not going crazy. See nothing. When it's time to pick up my kids after school, I see my first white butterfly fly across the street. The time I picked them up my other kid, and my wife went home, I seen 7 butterflies. They're all white. And just wasn't sure, make sure I wasn't crazy, I asked my son, is that a butterfly? He goes, yeah. And that was not even the weirdest part. It gave me a goosebump. Like my heart was sinking in my stomach. I'm like, oh man, this is actually happening. You know what I mean? Like it's like the excitement almost, like, but at the same time it's scary. It's just like, this is real, man. That was April. It wasn't until July that all of us start seeing butterflies come out. So there was a big gap in between just to let me know, like, this is real. And from that point on, everything changed. Like my experience changed. That was, for me, it was my wake up call, man. Like, stop what the fuck you doing. Cause now like I said in class, would you still do the same thing you do now if you knew someone was watching? And I know there's a higher power up there. And I dropped everything. I threw away my phone. I just threw it away. Flushed the stuff down the toilet. I had other stuff. I talked to my guys that I had left, and I told them I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry for being this guy, like giving it to you all this time. You know what I mean? It was about money and everything, but I'm sorry. You know, I had to go put you through this. And they're saying, you know what? It wasn't you. It wasn't you. It would have been someone else. But I told them, you know, this is all I can do for you. I'd rather you get help and get off this. But if you want, you can have this. So you don't have to at least pay for it.
You're talking about like the addicts that you were dealing with. Yeah.
And some of them go, okay, give it to me. I go, you sure? He goes, yeah. So I gave him, like, it was a lot, man. It was like, one of them wanted about $40,000 worth. I gave him $40,000 worth. The other guy took about probably $6,000 worth. And the rest was more pure. I just flushed it. And that stuff will fuck people up if they don't know what they're doing. So I just flushed the rest away. And the phone, I broke it up, threw it away. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that was it. That sealed my family's fate. No money's coming in at this point now. But I had to do it because it's the right thing to do. You cannot hurt people like that. You know what I mean? Like, it came to a point, realization now, like it was like everybody is a human. Everyone has a soul, down to animals now, to a point where if I see a cockroach or a bug, I pick it up, throw it outside the house. If I see a little moth come in, release it. I don't kill nothing. At least not on purpose. If I hold it and I crush it by accident, then I say sorry. But everything, down to twigs on a tree, I don't break it off because they all have feelings, man. Just because we don't understand something or they don't speak our language, doesn't mean it doesn't have a life. Doesn't mean it doesn't know how to hurt, doesn't know how to cry, doesn't mean it knows how to mourn. Right? It might look different than us, but imagine what those bugs look at us and go, look at us, and what they say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Same with spiders. Just grab it, put it outside the house, let them live. You know? But that experience changed me, man. It's just how it is, right? Like, even the weird thing is, even 2 days ago, I just wanted to confirm, because, you know, I just want to make a confirmation. I go, listen, I talk to my guides. I go, listen, I just want a confirmation again, you know, just show me not butterflies, what's that, ladybug. Let a ladybug be near me. 2 days ago, my wife came out, she goes, oh, she woke up before me and went in the washroom. She's like, oh, there's a bug. I was like, okay. Then I was brushing my teeth. She goes, oh, there's another one. I go, what kind of bug? She showed me, it's on a shirt. It's a ladybug inside the house. Wow. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, that's my confirmation. You know what I mean? I get numbers as well. That I see numbers of how it connect, how it contact. What's that word I'm trying to use? How it talks to me. You know, like connects.
Communicates.
With me. Communicates. Yeah. Yes. So I got these numbers, and it's like, don't doubt yourself. The path that you're on is the right path. Stop doubting yourself. And since 4 years ago, I started getting these kind of messages, these numbers, and every time I decipher them, it tells me, like, even talks about this to confirm it. I have this on my arm. It says Carpe Diem.
On your hand, yeah.
On my hand. Too, and then when I was really down for 4 years, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. It told me, like, what happened to Carpe Diem? And that message, what happened to this? That saying, seize the day. What happened to it? You know what I mean? You're sitting on your ass too long, you know? Get up and do something. So I tried to do my YouTube channel, but I couldn't do it like this, like sitting with you. 4 years ago, I was not ready for it, you know? I wasn't at that level yet. I was really down. I was like really soaking in that pity stage almost, you know? And money was just going out. For 4 years, I didn't work. Not a single dollar came in. You know what I mean? It's just all gone after that. And I was dwelling on like, I lost this. And they kept reassuring me, everything will come back. There's no such thing as losing this stuff. You know what I mean? Don't worry about losing materials and stuff. Focus on your path and your journey. Find a skill. Go to school. And at that time, I'm like, go to school? I hate school. You know what I mean? It's like, there's nothing there for me. Why would I want to go to school? And that's the problem with the school system too. They teach stuff that you don't want to learn. Like, this is how I see it. Like, why would you want to learn about science? Nothing wrong with it. But if you're not going to get into that field, why you got to learn about something you don't want to do? Right? So I wasn't ready for it. I'm like, no, I don't want to learn that skill, the school. But I sat down for 4 years and now like I'm coming on my shell. Like, this is the first year I felt a shift in me. There's a shift going on. I don't know what kind of shift it is, but can't explain it. But this year I feel upbeat. Really, really upbeat. Like my energy it's really up. I feel like I could be myself more, where I'm talking to people. The school really helped me too. Like
your personality's coming out more.
Yeah. So I find out these 4 years when I thought I was lost, I was actually shedding my old self. You can't come out of the fire if there's no ashes. Your old self has to burn down and turn into ashes before you can rise again. You know what I mean? And that was that process. When you felt lost, I was actually figuring out who I really was. You know, so it took me 4 years 4 years of introspection even. There was a point where I was washing dishes and all of a sudden my old self, my younger self popped in my head. And for that split, second, I forgot I was doing dishes. And I seen him. I was right there by him when he was crying. And I told him, why are you crying? And he's like, you know, I hate my dad and this and that. And he's crying. I'm like, don't worry. You're going through this for a reason. You know, what you're going through is going to make you tougher so you can handle it out there. You know what I mean? And at that moment, I just bawled, like boogers, like snot, like just, I never cried like that in my life, man. It's just coming out. I'm like, where the hell is this coming from? It's shedding your old self, you know, like telling my younger self, it's okay. I forgive everything. Don't worry about that stuff. You know what I mean? I forgive everything that's going on.
I think that's so important, man, is talking to your younger self, right? Like a lot of the therapists that I've worked with have gone to that sort of modality of therapy where it's like, yeah, we've all done bad shit, right? It's all subjective, right? Like, you know, sure, somebody could have done worse shit than me, but it's how you view it, right? Like how I did this thing, and it's your relationship with yourself as a result of what you did, right? So if I, you know, stole something from a grocery store and somebody else murdered somebody, right? Those are two very different things, obviously viewed by the law, but the way I look at it is what matters, right? So if I don't care that I stole that thing, then it's not affecting me, right? I didn't do anything bad, in my opinion, right? But if I'm looking at that every day and like, you're a piece of shit, you're fucking, you know, you're robbing and you're stealing and you're a bad person, you're a bad person every day, right? That starts to affect you over time. And the importance of forgiveness, like it can't be understated. You know what I mean? Like you have to do any sort of transformation, there's going to be forgiveness involved, whether it's others who have wronged you or yourself, right? I'm sure you've been wronged by a lot of people. I'm sure you've wronged a lot of people, right? How do you, I guess what I want to know is like, how do you get to that stage of forgiveness? Like, how do you look at forgiveness?
Forgiveness to me comes from experience. Like, it's almost like I kind of came into it by accident, going through this process, right? And it's been shown, like forgiveness is not, even somebody wronged you, for instance, when you say, I forgive you, you're not really forgiving that person, you're forgiving yourself.
Yeah, it's for
to
you.
Unleash you from those burdens that holds you down, where you can't move forward. Anger, and you can't forgive somebody for that. Like you always hold it. Resentment, it holds you back to the past. And when you don't want to be stuck there, because when you're held in the past, you're stuck there, you can't move forward. You know what I mean? And it darkens your soul
Yeah.
to a point where it's like, it could be sunny outside, but all you see is clouds. You know, your life sucks. It sucks. You know, it's like a toilet bowl full of shit without the flush mechanism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know it stinks, but all you have to do is just close the lid. But all you focus is on that flush mechanism, and you're like, it stinks, man. I can't flush it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that. Just let go of it. It's like a heavy knapsack. You wear it for years, and your shoulders get sunken down. It hurts your spine now. Let it go. All you do is take it off, and you be like, whoa, that's your enlightenment. That's your freedom. You just freed yourself. So that goes back to saying, you know, I forgive you. It's really you're forgiving yourself. It's okay. You know what I mean? That's part of the experience. It's okay to let it go. Let them go. Let yourself free. Move forward. You know, you don't want that kind of burden, man. It's a burden.
Yeah. Yeah, resentment is one of my favorite quotes, and I always say this, but resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies.
There
right?
you go.
You're just like, they're not even thinking about you,
Yeah.
right? Because for whatever reason, they got their own shit going on,
Yep.
and they're renting space in your head and not paying a cent, right? It's just there every day. That shit is just in your head. And how are you supposed to let in new ideas and positive thoughts when you're just like, those negative thoughts take up so much more space too than the positive ones, I find. And the positive ones, they come and go a lot quicker. The negative ones, they'll just sit in there, right? And if you don't get it out and tell somebody about it, oh man, I have lots of experience with that, where it's just like ruminating and ruminating and then it just turns into, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, you're bad, right? And yeah, to your point, that's a great analogy. I love that. This is the flushing mechanism. All you're focused on is what's broken, when all you have to do is close the lid. I love that analogy. That's amazing.
That stink is gone. You know what I mean?
And you can't even see it anymore, right? It's
but it's the power of the mind too, you know. It's the mind is what makes you suffer. It could be your greatest tool or your worst enemy. You know what I mean? So it's most of the suffering is it starts in the head. You know what I mean? Everything's attachments to everything. It's like I remember hearing this one guru. He's saying people see life backwards. You know how people have materials and they're so appreciative that they hold it like it's worth the world, right? It's like my wife, when she gets a bag back then, she loves it so much. She'll hold it. She's like, oh my God, so precious. I don't want to wear it and dirty it. We're seeing things backwards. That's how you're supposed to see life. Life is precious. It's beautiful. Materials is just to use, right? Don't fear it. You bought to use it.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. You know what I mean? But people see things backwards. Life is beautiful. Everyone comes in this world like, oh, you know, social media and the media, the news, they're always showing you what you don't have, what you lack in life. It makes people miserable. Focus on what you do have. And what you do have, I guarantee you there's people out there that are willing to die for it. You know what I mean? Appreciate what you have. Humans don't know what they have till it's gone. You know what I mean? And what you have is special to you. It's catered to you for your journey. Don't compare to other people's journey because you're not in the same lane. You know, you could compare yourself to the Joneses, but Joneses have their own problems. You know what I mean? And you're not the Joneses, right? A lot of people, suffering comes from, how do I say this? Suffering comes from your expectations of life. You expect your life to be a certain way by the time you're this age. And then when it doesn't match how you think of it is in your head, you get depressed and like, oh, I'm a failure, this and that. No, don't think like that. You know what I mean? Life itself works on divine timing. You're at the right place in your life right now, even though it doesn't seem like it. Your experience is unique. Suffering and hardship is a good thing. We're taught that it's a bad thing. That's how growth happens. That's how you learn and you grow as a person. Your soul grows, right? The good times you don't grow from, but the good times are rewards for going through the bad times or challenging times. I don't like to say bad times. They're challenging times. That's the reward you get, right? But you got to grow as an individual. Otherwise, you're going to be stale, and there's nothing worse than being stale. There's somebody, I'm quoting somebody, I don't know who this is. It said, number one best thing to do is the right thing. The second best thing to do is the wrong thing. The worst thing to do is nothing. You know, I don't even know who said that, but I heard that. I'm like, that's good. Yeah.
I think Tony Soprano says something similar in the show where it's like, yeah, like inaction is the worst type of thing that you can do, right? Or I'm terribly misquoting that or paraphrasing it, but yeah, sometimes sitting on your hands is the worst thing you can do. Sometimes it's the best thing you can do, right? In terms of biting your tongue, and you know, I have to do that a lot, right? Where it's like, hey, maybe I don't need to have an opinion about this right now. You know, is my opinion? What's my motive here? That's what I ask myself now. Is like, before I say anything or do anything, and I fault at this all the time, right? I'm still learning, but to your point, this is how the growth happens. Am I trying to disprove this person to embarrass them? Am I trying to feel better about myself by making someone else feel bad? Right? Like, what's my motive here? What am I trying to do? Am I trying to put someone down, or am I actually trying to help? Right? And sometimes when you try to help, it goes the wrong way too. But if you know in your heart that you had the right intention, you know, that's freedom to me, right? It's freeing enough. It's like, I tried to do the right thing. To your point, we don't always know what the right thing is to do either, right? And that's why meditation and spirituality is so important to me, because sometimes I think what the right thing to do, it ends up being the wrong thing, and then it's like, okay, this happened. Now I can look back in retrospect and be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that again, right? Maybe that was not the right thing to do at that time, you know. I'm interested in the Reiki.
Yes, Reiki.
How can you explain what that is and how you got into it?
Yes, this is pretty. Ever since that, I don't know, it was awakening or whatever that process I had was called. Like, I still have no name for it, you know. But whatever it was, it brought my awareness out, right? And then I was searching for answers. Like I said, I went to psychics, even though I know they're phony, whatever. It's just I'm paying them just to talk to them, because at that time when this happened, I had no one to go turn to. I almost lost my family. They thought I lost my mind, even though I kept reassuring them, like, I'm still me. Like, you know me well enough to know that I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? But it sounds crazy, you know. But
sorry, it's interesting though that the people closest to you, when you when you make the right decision, like, you're faced with that adversity of like, oh no, this is the wrong thing for you. And often that happens in our lives, where when we're on the right path, you get the haters, you get the doubt, you get everyone telling you not to do it, because it's like this kind of tension and adversity and resistance. That's what I was looking for. Resistance towards following your path, right? Sorry, continue. I thought that was interesting.
When you're on your right path and you're in alignment, those who vibe with you will come with you. Those who don't, it's going to be left behind. You know what I mean? And you will find out, you know, like, it'll just automatically happen. It's like magnets. Yeah. If you're the same magnet, it's gonna push it away. You know what I mean? It's like you can't get close, right? But we're on the verge. Like, it was real bad, man. But I kept moving forward. You know, like, where do I get answers? Like, someone like me, like, just coming off the street, like, who do you talk to about this stuff? Like, where do you go, right? So I went to a few psychics and just talked to them, and just to talk to them, and that's all it is. When I was done, I was like, okay, here's your money, thank you, you know, and just go, you know. And I felt lighter, but at the same time, I didn't get my answer, you know. And these guys couldn't provide it. And for 4 years, no one could give me that answer. I just had to figure it out, you know, what's happening to me, you know. Like, it took me 4 years. It could have been maybe sooner, but it took me 4 years. Sorry, what was the question?
So Reiki.
Oh yeah, Reiki. Yeah, I kind of drift off a lot, but I was looking through the internet, like, I was learning about chakras. Like, these kind of things pop up into my my YouTube channels, and so I'm like, okay, so I'm like, what is Reiki? I look at it as energy inside you. So I was reading up on all the energy chakras, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm pretty low on the bottom chakra and the root chakra. So I went into a Reiki, made an appointment with a Reiki master. And the first time I went in there, I was kind of like uptight. I was kind of protecting myself. She pointed it out too. She goes, look at your shoulders. Because I was like, she goes, you're protecting your heart. You know, because my shoulders always like, I was like really closing it in. You know what I mean? Like, it was moved in. Yeah, it's closed off, right? Protecting myself. And she did her thing anyway. She's talking to me, trying to get like trying to get to know me better. But anyways, after all that talking about me, she did the session on me. I didn't, honestly, when I was done, I was like, she goes, how do you feel now? I go, I feel better. But really, I didn't feel shit. You know, I go, this is bullshit. Reiki is garbage. You know what I mean? A waste of my money again. It's just like the psychics, you know what I mean? I go, there's nothing that can help, man. Anyways, I was looking through it again. I seen learn Reiki. I'm like, well, Reiki doesn't work, but maybe she doesn't know what she's doing. Not one size fits all, right? So I'm not saying she's shit. It's just nothing happened with me. There was no connection there, right? I didn't feel nothing. So anyways, I called up this Reiki master, this lady, and it says she's also a medium and all that stuff and everything. I was like, okay, let's book that. I won't mind learning it. Maybe if I learn, it'll be different. So I made an appointment with her that a couple months later. So I went to see her. First time I came and see her, I was like, oh man, this is kind of, let's do this. This is the next journey, right? I walked in, introduced myself. She saw me, went upstairs, and she goes, close your eyes. I closed my eyes. She goes, what color do you see? I said, okay, there is a color popping in my head. What color? It was yellow. I go, what color do you see? She goes, yellow. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, that's one. And before I went to see her, I remember I meditated that night. I go, guides, ask my guides to make sure that I know she's real. Ask her something, like let her know something about me. You know what I mean? Let her ask a question about me or something else she knows about me, just so I know it's real. But she started looking through the Reiki stuff, like teaching me these, like where Reiki originated from and all that stuff. So we went through all that paperwork and like where it came from and who's the founder and all that stuff. Then we started doing those symbols that comes with Reiki, right? So I started writing down those symbols, writing them down, and she explaining what each one does. And then she just stopped. She looked at me. She goes, "You're a real hard worker, huh?" At the moment, I wish I asked her more, like, where did I come from? But it never crossed my mind at that moment. I was just more focused on the words and stuff. But anyways, we're doing it all. And then she did my attunement. So the attunement was that I closed my eyes. She put the guys there like a little shrine. She's doing her chants and her smudging stuff. She did stuff and then she blew smoke through my... I did something with my hand. I don't remember, man. But something like this. And she blew through my hand. I'm like, whoa. That was kind of like a cold air coming through my hands, right? When I left, I was like, I just got hosed. There goes my money again. Yeah. I didn't feel nothing, and it's like I got 2 minutes. So what? You know what I mean? I had a good talk with her, like expressed a lot of things out and all that stuff. But I went home that day. I left around 4 something, around 7 o'clock that day. I was sitting watching TV. All of a sudden my hands start buzzing, man. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is this? It's like, the TV, the salt and pepper screens, like it's just black, no cable. Yeah. It felt like all that in both my palms. I'm like, whoa, and it's strong, man. It was like deep inside my hand. I'm like, what the fuck? Then I started hearing like high pitched noises. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? Until now, when I meditate, I still hear the buzzing and a lot of bird chirping for some reason. I hear a lot of birds chirping when there's no birds around. It's weird. But yeah, anyways, after that, I started attuning. I started doing it to myself, and which it doesn't work on myself. I don't find, you know what I mean?
What is that? Can you explain it?
There's like, you pretty much, everything is intentions, right? You set intentions before you do anything. I like to bless the area, cleanse it, but it's intentions what you want, and you state your intentions, and you ask for the beings to help assist you. Obviously your beings, you have to say like certain things. I'll say is like, I call upon past Reiki masters, healers, teachers, guides. If you come join me in this session with guides from the highest light and compassion to come join me. Anything dark is not wanted. They can't come in without your invitations. Like people play Ouija boards, you're inviting stuff to come in. All right, but you set your intentions. And then it's like, my intention is to heal myself. You know what I mean? To heal negative energy. And I do it anyways, but it doesn't work on me. And that was it. Until I started asking my older son. He's like, my knees hurt. Can you help me? I said, I want to do Reiki. I'll help you with Reiki. It took him about a week. He's like, he didn't want to do it, right? But after a week, he goes, okay, I'll do it. So he sat down. I set intentions. I knocked the bowl, cleansed the area. I did it for him. And while I'm doing it, I could feel his legs twitching, like you could feel it, it's just, the time I was done, he got up, he's like, whoa. I was like, what? He goes, Dad, it's gone. I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I did it for my youngest son. I did it for him way before I knew I did Reiki, because I put my hand on his stomach and he's just like, whoa, Dad, it feels so good. His stomach ache is gone, whatever. Anyways, okay, I'm kind of getting all over the place here, but I did go back for the second one, become a Reiki practitioner. And that's when she brought in people for me to do Reiki on, practice on. And is the head, everyone that do the head don't really feel nothing. It's just when I get to the body. That's when I'm more relaxed. They say the energy is really strong. And I did it for them. They said the energy is really strong. I helped her do a yoga Reiki class. I just volunteered, just practice. And I did it, and I got feedback from those people there. She goes, I felt your energy. You know, that's kind of reassuring me, right? My neighbor recently, a couple months ago, he had what's that thing called, the pancreas?
Pancreatitis?
Yeah, he took it out.
Oh, fuck.
Something like his pancreas or something like that. I can't remember.
When they take out your appendicitis?
Appendix, yeah, I think
appendicitis?
so.
Yeah.
It's somewhere around here.
Yeah, they take out your appendix.
Yeah, they took it out. He's in bad shape, man. He was about to die if he didn't get that surgery. He was pale, he was down. And he came up to me and I was like, you know what, just, I don't want people in the building to think I'm crazy. So I'm like, listen, I do this thing called Reiki. It may not help you, but if you want, I'm more than willing to help you, And they jumped at it right away, yes. So before I go, give me a day or so, I'll come over. The next day I came over, I told him, maybe this is what the process is going to be like. You may or might not feel nothing. If you feel something, it's normal. If you don't feel nothing, it's also normal. You know what I mean? You have a face cloth? He goes, why? I got to cover your eyes, man. We can't lock eyes to eyes. And when we're doing this, it's going to be weird. I can't look at you in the eyes and be normal after that,
Yeah, I got to see you every Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird, but I told her, your family has to go to the other room because I don't want their energy mixed up in everything, you know what I mean? So take your phones out, everything out, and just leave the room clear. I did it for him. Dude, the time was done, probably 25 minutes, half an hour. When I was done, man, holy shit, he was different. He got up, he's more alive. There's this color in his face. He goes, whoa. He's more so relaxed. He's like, that was good, man. His wife came out afterwards, looked at him and goes, holy shit. He goes, yeah, I feel good. I feel really good. I did it for him 2 more times. 2 more times after that. And I was supposed to do more, but at that time, I thought I'm going blind faster at that time, right? I was losing my vision. I was like, man, could this thing be sucking his energy into me? And it's causing it to speed up? I wasn't too sure. So I told him, this is the last session I could do for you, you know what I mean? Because he knew about my eye problems
Yeah,
too.
what's wrong with your eyes, just so people know? Yeah.
I have autoimmune. I built an autoimmune disease just before that incident happened to me. You know what I mean? I built this autoimmune disease. I didn't know what it was for a whole year. Didn't even know it was autoimmune. So after I found out what it was, it's called uveitis. And it attacks the eyes. And it just really eats up the eyes, you know what I mean? But the medications I was on, it sped up the cataract process. So cataracts are just building up real fast on me. And it was blinding me to a point where everyone looked like ghosts. You know what I mean? It's just a blur, right? For a year and a half, brushing my own teeth, I couldn't see my face. You know what I mean? So, but I still drove. I know, but I still drove, had to get food for the family, still do for stuff, responsibilities, had to take care of it, So, but during that, I also did Lyft driving, because I needed to make money somehow.
Uber,
I had no idea how to make money prior, how to make money legitimately. But I did Lyft, and I was embarrassed about that too, because, I used to look at cab drivers like they're cab drivers, But that's it. That thing kind of opened my eyes too. Like, you're human, they're just human just like me, But the good thing about that Lyft was I met a lot of spiritual people, man.
And you had a lot of interesting conversations, you were telling me.
Very interesting. Like, these people were like, some of them were, I swear that I can goosebumps again. Some of them, they're human, but they're not human. I swear they're like guides, let me know like you're moving in the right direction. You know what I mean? At that time, my vision was fading. I met these people uplifting me, letting me know there's more of me out there. Like, they call it like what's that word? Light workers. You know what I mean? I checked it up and I was like, oh shit, there's a lot more of those out there. You
just
know what
carrying
I mean?
the good energy, light.
Yeah, it's just positive. To help people. Like, it's a new shift happening now, and the shift is like people more aware, they're wakening up. They're more aware right now. Yeah. And now's the time. Like, I'm ready now. You know what I mean? I'm ready to tell my story of it, you know? Letting people know, like, there is life after the streets. The street doesn't end there. You know, there's a lot to go on after that. The other day I met my other friend. Like, I seen him growing up. He sells a lot of drugs, just did, I think, like 3 years, came out. He goes, I don't know what to do, man. You know, I can't get a job. I have no experience. They don't want people that have criminal records. Fuck, what do I do? You know what I mean? He goes, do I go back to the streets? You know, do I have to do that again? I go, you got to calm down a little bit, you know what I mean? What is it that you want to do? He goes, get into construction. But he goes, I can't get into it right now. I go, you know what? You just got to breathe a little. Right now, you got to focus on what you have. Don't think about money, this and that, you know? Your wife been taking care of you this whole time. You have kids, your daughters that you missed for 3 years. They're growing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They need their daddies there for support. I go, focus on what you have and use that as a foundation instead of looking at what you don't have. Because if you look at what you don't have, your ego's going to drive you right back to the streets, man. And if this is your second chance. If you fuck this up, your wife is going to leave you. Your kids are never going to see you again or see you the same way again. Why is daddy always leaving us? Yeah. Right? And that comes to my point now about families right now. If you have kids out there, pay attention to your kids. Be there for your kids, because what they lack at home, they're going to go looking for it on the streets. And that's when you find all the wrong things. I look for a father figure out there, and they use you. You get used out there. You know what I mean? So what you lack at home, you look for on the streets. You look elsewhere for it.
I love that, man. Yeah, I think that's such an important message.
Yeah.
I mean, you're proof of it, right? Like, because if I'm not getting it at home, I'm going to get it somewhere.
Yes.
Right? And it's not going to be in a good place, right? Because not everybody has our best intentions, right?
No one. Everyone's always looking out for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But things change, right? There's always hope. It's never too late in life until you pass away.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as you're alive, you can always make that change. But do you want that change? Forgive yourself. Let yourself know it's okay. It's okay. Everything that happened, it's okay. Forgive yourself and move on. You know? What is it that you really want to do in life? Use your experience. Yeah, you've been incarcerated. You've been incarcerated for a reason. You did a lot of bad stuff. What can you do out there? What can you contribute to society now? You know, what can you give back with your experience? There's people going through it exactly what you're going through. Not just street stuff, other stuff. Like recovering addicts or addictions. Yeah. Use that. It's your calling, man. Use your experience. You might not have education or that diploma piece of paper, but you have life experience. And that is golden to me. Yeah, that is golden. You can't learn that stuff in school. Use it. You went through it for a reason in this life. Yeah. What do you do with it now? Do you just shove it underneath the rug? Or use it as your power and enlighten people? Show them there is a path beyond that. You know? Yeah. It's not the end of the world, man.
I love it, man. And you're a fine example of that today, right? Like, somebody needs to hear your message, and I'm happy that you came down, because I appreciate you, man. I feel a connection towards you, and I'm excited to embark on this journey going forward, and hopefully, helping one person at a time, right? That's the goal here.
Same here. I have a lot of respect for you, man. Thanks, what you're doing too, you know?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Al.
Hey, no worries, brother.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Please help us grow the channel and share, and subscribe for more content. The discussions and stories shared on this podcast are for informational and motivational purposes only. This content is not a substitute for professional medical advice, addiction treatment, or therapy. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please consult a licensed physician, addiction specialist, or mental health professional. You are no longer alone.